Hello, and welcome back to another steering wheel vlog. I was just having a debate with myself, and here's an interesting thought experiment for you. What would actually be more pathetic? Darius Truxton being unemployed, which he is, or Darius Truxton actually having a job and working 40 hours a week? Which one of those scenarios is more pathetic? Now, your brain might instinctively say, well, obviously being unemployed is pathetic. But if you actually think about it, whether he's on welfare or he's unemployed, he's still poor as shit. He's living in this tiny box in this Soviet-style apartment block. He can't afford to travel anywhere. He doesn't own a car. There's no way he's making insurance payments or paying for gasoline. No way. He's poor as dirt. So what would actually be more pathetic? Showing up to a workplace for 40 hours a week. We know he's only qualified to mop floors. Would you rather mop floors for 8 hours a day, come home and play 5 hours of Power Wash Simulator and 9 hours of Donkey Kong? Da-ding, 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 woohoo! Would you rather do that, or would you rather be unemployed, collect welfare, spend 8 hours with friends, family, having a social life, going outside, experiencing nature, and then doing the 5 hours of Power Wash Simulator? Or would you rather mop floors for 8 hours and then 5 hours of Power Wash Simulator? Which sounds more ideal? Because in my mind, I'm leaning towards just collecting welfare. I mean, obviously his apartment is government subsidized. And, you know, I mean, he may as well just collect disability or whatever for his mentally stunted autism or whatever he has. But actually, seemingly, it appears that Darius Truxton does now have a job. He's on Twitter doing PR work for Donald Trump. So apparently this guy called Robert Reiner died, someone who had said negative things about Donald Trump. Who cares? Apparently Darius Truxton does, because he's doing crisis management for Donald Trump. You know, maybe if you had friends, you had family, you had a social life, you had a job, you wouldn't have time to know or care what Robert Reiner has to say. Maybe you should concern yourself with Robert at the front desk who's calling you, Keith, they're doing it again. I'm very sorry, Robert. I didn't mean to disturb you at all. That's the only Robert you need to concern yourself with. Because he's tired of your shit. But anyway, you're trying to tell people that you're a Trump supporter? Oh, really? Because I thought you were the guy back in 2020 during the COVID thing. I thought you said, fake news, the news is fake. Meanwhile, who presided over the COVID shit in America? Oh, that's right, it was Donald Trump. Donald Trump came out and said, you need to take this bubonic Jew jab. He proclaimed himself to be the father of the vaccine. Maybe he should proclaim himself to be the father of Keith Elwood, seeming as William was obviously absent in your childhood. And Donald Trump also told his supporters to go out and buy a Tesla car. This piece of shit electric nonsense. Where's your Tesla car? In fact, where is any car? You have no car. You're a liberal. You're a good little environmentally conscious weed-smoking Canadian libtard living in an inner city, collecting government assistance. You're not driving any car. You're not polluting the planet like a real man in a big diesel truck. You're driving a bicycle down a pedestrian lane. You're a libtard. But anyway, yeah, I don't see any right-wing qualities about you. Why are you pretending to be a Trump supporter? You live in Hamilton, Ontario. You're taking time out of your limited, finite, precious life. You only have one life on this world, in this world, and you're spending it doing PR work for Donald Trump as if you have any impact whatsoever in the political sphere. Not that the whole right versus left thing even matters. It's a whole charade. It's theater. And you're just obsessed with politics. Why don't you obsess over cleaning your apartment, washing the marijuana tar off those walls? This horrible, sticky yellow tar. Ugh. This disgusting, dingy apartment. This guy not only smokes weed, he smokes weed indoors. He doesn't have the decency to step out into the balcony or go outside. This white trash piece of shit is smoking indoors in his living space. This guy has no shame whatsoever. Why don't you take the same anger and energy you have towards Robert Reiner? Why don't you take that and bring it to the gym? You have the appearance of a pudgy schoolboy, the muscle consistency of marmalade jelly. Okay, the lack of physical activity from you spending 9.5 hours playing Donkey Kong, ding, 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 woohoo, has turned your muscle into mush. Why don't you concern yourself with that? Okay. What else did I want to touch on? Oh yeah. This guy, Darius Truxton, spent his entire summer, Monday through Sunday, indoors playing video games every single day, live streaming for 5 to 8 hours a day, all throughout summer. It's now winter time in the Northern Hemisphere. Is he going to go outside in Canada at this time of year? Obviously not. Like, you only have, what, like 7 more summers and you're 50 years old? Holy shit. Do something with your life. Like, he's so disconnected from everything that it means to be alive. The sound of a bird, the smell of a flower, the healing rays of sunshine, the subtle signals you get when you're out in nature, the same subtle signals that trigger ecstasy in the brain of a salmon that makes it swim upstream, fighting against all odds to get to that creek in the mountain where it was born. The same subtle signal that triggers birds to migrate thousands of miles to a continent they've never been before during a certain season. That subtle signal that triggers that's lacking in his brain. He's devoid of any life. He's a zombie. He clouds himself in a fog of monetized distraction. Movies, music, Hollywood, sports. You click on his live stream, he's having discussions about which fast food chain serves the best poutine. That's not a concern of mine. What a loser. And then he has the gall to come up on video telling people that I don't have a life. Meanwhile, I'm in Portugal recording videos mocking him as he plays Power Wash Simulator for 6 hours and 40 minutes in a day. Like, imagine living in Hamilton, this city in North America. You're 40 something years of old. You're something. Blah, 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 blah. You're 40 years of age and you've never experienced the world outside of North America. I can't even imagine that. Wow, what a sad existence. Imagine never seeing Southern Europe or even like, I don't know, like South America even. Wow. Shit. What a sad case. Holy shit. Oh.